Bring it down. Clipping. Yo, what up?
Yo, yo, yo.
What up?
Questions from the Barflyz.
We in here.
Preguntas de los Barflyz.
Dude, should I be wearing a headset?
No.
That's all right.
It's all right.
Okay.
That too.
You did a great job. Let Dan sing that part.
All right.
You don't sing that one. Let Dan sing that one.
What?
Let's leave like the good singing up to him.
No.
Oh, the good singing. You gotta stop.
You gotta stop.
It's getting worse. It's not getting better.
Here you go.
Talk.
Now, when it's live, and even if we're live,
We are live.
now doesn't it typically have that
In
red dot?
vivo.
It's up there saying it's live.
La Mega.
It also
La
says
Mega.
Yes, it does say excellent because our connection is excellent.
Yes, and so are we. Instagram says unable to connect though.
I do
In
see that.
vivo.
Let me keep Instagram open so I can see if that is.
Technical difficulties. But we out here though.
Are any of y'all logged on the Blurred Bar Instagram right now, or should I log in? Or?
No, you can log into that. Actually, I am in it, but I'll get off of it.
All
No,
of
you
us
can stay in
be
it if
in
you
it
want.
at the same time.
Okay. Instagram's not
the
going to be like, hold on a
same
second.
At the same time.
Yo, if this was Google would be snapping like, hold on. We're identifying a breach.
Checkity check, 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 check,
Oh,
check.
okay. Abe followed us.
But it's questions from the Barflyz.
Yay!
Just making some changes here
Yay!
to make sure everyone can participate.
Yay!
So I'm gonna add me a channel.
I'm going to move up. Sorry if I'm
You're
touching
good.
you. Sorry.
Dave.
I have long legs. I just don't know what to do with them.
Nesney.
Big head and little arms. No, you don't get the
Nope.
meet the reference. Meet the Robinsons.
Meet the reference.
What's that?
Meet the reference. Right.
Y'all are just smarter than me. I hate it.
Nah.
With the media, at least.
It's
really goes to show what I've been doing with my childhood.
Well, that was work. In actuality.
What?
Meet the Robinsons. We watched
That
that.
was- we were camp
during
counselors.
Camp counselors.
Was that Meet the Robinsons? Is that a comedy?
It is a comedy.
It is.
Who's in
It's a animated comedy. So
Disney.
Really?
yeah.
Remember, I didn't have Disney Channel. Y'all are not gonna let me live this down. I see. I
You didn't have to have Disney Channel. It
I don't
came
know.
out in
Right,
theaters.
it was a movie.
Okay, well, just go ahead and make fun of my poverty.
Okay.
That's not what that is. It's none of that.
Unless you
Meet the
choose it to be.
Robinsons.
It's all about perspective, I guess.
I think we're live on Instagram now.
Let's check.
In vivo. La Mega.
I do not see. Maybe it's because I'm logged in. I wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah,
No,
we're not
show it.
live.
We're not?
It's not showing up on my thing as we're live.
This is upsetting me. I wonder, is Yellow Duck not working anymore?
Oh no.
We do have someone watching.
Pato
from YouTube.
Amarillo.
Tell us who you are. Identify yourself.
Show yourself.
Queen of Legs. Zim?
Oh, that's my best friend.
That's your best friend. Hey, best friend.
Best friend.
If you're Alicia's best friend, then you're the Blurred Bar's best friend.
Well,
That's
we
I
would
said the
hate to
Blurred Bar's
assume.
best friend, not personally ours.
Okay.
Azim. Got it right.
Yes, he's great.
I would imagine he is. He joined questions from the Barflyz. Do you have any questions for us, Azim? We're having technical difficulties currently with Instagram.
With
but,
the
But
grams.
that just comes with being black and
Shadow
sometimes white.
ban.
She finally
claimed me to the public.
Azim, you don't know how many times I've claimed you.
You're not talking to the mic
Publicly.
at all, though. That's crazy.
All right,
Just
he
go.
can hear me. He heard me.
It's the assumptions for me. Nintendo has no games.
Yeah, yeah.
Currently, I would agree with you because I don't play my Switch.
What? Don't they got the Violet and the Scarlet, even though
That
it's
came-
broken?
We'll talk about that.
We can talk about it right now. We have time. We have the technology.
Well, yeah, Nintendo was like
A sinking ship.
it seems that way, but it's kind of not. They still seem to do well. I haven't seen a line for Pokemon had a midnight release, and I haven't seen a line in GameStop, a physical line in GameStop since.
I mean, a decade?
I think like
it's been a while.
Yeah, I think it was probably since like one of the maybe Call of Duty Ghosts or Advanced Warfare. That was the last time I seen like a line.
But now, to be fair, is that because
You're not in lines?
digital?
Yeah,
Like-
part of it is, most of it I would say is digital releases. You don't have to go in anymore. GameStop's also closing, and not a lot of GameStops to have.
Are they closing?
A lot of them are closing.
I know they
down,
close
or getting
a lot
smaller,
of
or getting
them, yeah.
smaller. They can't really. They don't really have the capacity to hold midnight releases anymore, and maybe because games just generally are not as exciting anymore. Except like Nintendo, the only games that I think people get super excited about to play at midnight, I would say Pokemon. Pokemon people are just consistently excited.
That is true.
Sure. I mean,
And
if it be like that, though.
I heard that the formula is still pretty much the same. Like, the last game I played was gold and or silver.
Really?
And I feel like, from what I've heard, it's like I could hop in and kind of just, it's like getting right back on the bike.
I don't know about
Literally.
that.
Since the Pokemons are actual bikes.
Yeah.
Which
Don't know
is
much about
weird.
that. I
Back
don't
in
know.
my day, Pokemon stayed Pokemon. They weren't bikes. Darn, took our jerk.
Is it, though? Because I feel like now this is just slavery with extra steps.
I mean, it's always been, I don't recall these Pokemon having choices, except Pikachu.
It's been.
I don't know. Bulbasaur had autonomy.
Charmeleon had all the autonomy.
Charizard
That's
did.
why he bounced.
Yeah.
But wait, he
Squirtle.
released Charizard, right?
Nah, I
At
think he
least
just left.
The first three starters had autonomy. They were out here like
Oh yeah, I forgot. Squirtle was causing mayhem.
He was in a whole squad.
A whole squad, and left his squad for Ash. What?
Who just became champion? Wow, bro. No, wait, but then he left, right?
He did leave
He
as
left when he
well.
became War Turtle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the starters left, right?
Except for what did he just leave Bulbasaur with Professor Oak or something like that?
I feel like he had left Bulbasaur.
I don't remember.
He didn't leave.
Azim, I agree with you. This Rick and Morty season is mid.
Oh, I forgot that it knew.
That's how mid it is.
Mid
That's
in
how
what way?
I don't think it's hitting the audience the same way.
In what
just
way
like-
is that?
There was always like this level of intellect, right? When you were watching Rick and Morty.
Are the incels not happy?
Whoopsies.
Because I feel like season 1, 2, and 3 of Rick and Morty had this appeal.
Not just to incels though.
I mean, I would say they're a major component of, major part of the fan base.
Oh,
Baby. Listen, I enjoyed.
I'm not
I,
an
en-
incel.
Come on, don't take it personal. I enjoyed the first few seasons of Rick and Morty, and I am not
I
an
do
incel.
feel
At least I don't.
targeted,
At
like-
least I don't. Well,
baby.
you know what they say. But I'm saying though, like, what is it about Rick? Is it
Got him.
is it the story? I mean, the stories were really good.
Yikes.
You gotta stop.
I can't.
Stop it. But no, what is it about Rick and Morty that makes it mid? Like, what's happening?
Well, I appreciated it for its smart writing.
Allegedly,
It
it
was
was
smart writing.
highbrow.
Sorry.
Very highbrow sometimes, and then also like, but it was like masterfully woven into lowbrow comedy, right? Like all the gags were lowbrow, but the writing in between in it was like, oh, you had to think about it for a second.
I see. And what's happening now? Is the writing suffering?
They're going for continuity instead of
One off.
the anthology that they've been. Yeah, the show does not need an arc. I agree. They listened to fans, and fans were like, we need to explore these situations that were currently, all these threads that have been left. And,
I see.
One of those like, we want this, and then you get in, it's like,
So
we
fans-
actually didn't
Right.
want it.
fan service that's not done.
Fan service
and again,
done poorly.
Is fan
if I could
service
argue
ever
that.
really done well? Is
fair
it
point.
sustainable? Is fan service
I mean,
sustainable?
look at anime.
But I feel like that is its own genre. I feel like that is its own genre, right? But the idea is that maybe they can never truly satisfy or satiate the hunger of fans.
You're finally checked on Instagram, so we got 2 viewers currently.
On the
Blue Gatsby and
grams.
Lucid Dawns. They shouting out Cobbs. Apparently, Cobbs is the important person here.
No, we're all important.
Nope. We knew what it was when we asked you to join.
No.
We knew that you were bringing the people.
I just was like, hey, friends, I'm going to be live and stuff.
No, that's fair. However,
they're probably drinking or playing video games. And and I just said, hey, Lucid Dawn never actually answers his phone. So maybe he could just get on Instagram and put his phone where it usually is.
Wow.
And then just have it on. No, he knows it's all though. We all play video games together. And Blue Gatsby, he's awesome.
You could also pull it up on your phone so
I can?
that way you can see it.
Oh, okay.
Comments.
I'm still learning. Blue Gatsby is a really good friend of mine.
Nope, sober and watching this, John.
Oh, yo, that's crazy.
Wild, and
Thanks,
we
y'all.
appreciate it.
I'm a mess.
If you guys have any,
Don't overinflate her ego. That's wild.
these comments are already wild. No, not even low key, like high key. You have probably been the best part of this season.
Don't say that.
No, I'm allowed to because I've been here. You've always been there.
You bring the spice.
but you bring it. Appreciate it.
It's cool.
Thanks, y'all.
And if we have not yet
Thank you, Blue
formally
Gatsby.
introduced ourselves, you know who we are. Big Dan. Rodan. I'm coming to you live from the 215, your comic book connoisseur, your sommelier of sci-fi and superheroes. Here to welcome you to Questions from the Barflyz live.
Preguntos de los Barflyz en vivo.
Can
La Mega.
Can you press my sound though?
Oh, boy, we're doing that.
Oof. Right? That's
Dr.
it?
Pepper looks cold. Y'all got money, and they are room temp. You are wild.
Let's not promo them. Let's blur this out, turn this around. I am not promoting. I am not drinking Dr.
Shout
Pepper.
outs to a refrigerator, right? But no, these have been sitting in this room since the last time we had them. This John multilingual too.
Only
That is
sometimes.
absolutely correct.
But anyway,
Wow. Shut it down.
no more Dr. Pepper. I am Queen Cobb for today.
Hey.
Thinking about ever since seeing Wakanda Forever, I may need to change that.
To what?
Thinking maybe I think it'll just be Squire Cobb,
Squire.
General?
not General.
General.
You're not even lying. We out here doing Duolingo. Lingo.
And I am Queen of the Anti-Flex, aka, or soon to be known as the Squire of the Anti-Flex.
Squire.
That's not okay. I refuse to accept
The
that.
video game
Can you
ventures
at least
and
go like General?
Queen Cobb, capital Q.
the support character with boundaries.
What about CC, like Captain Cobb?
I don't want to be anybody's captain.
But you are. You
Oh,
run
Captain,
stuff
my
out
Captain.
here.
I don't want any of these roles of
Oh,
problematic.
so that way we can still use QC. Quartermaster Cobb.
Quartermaster. They're the ones that own like the dogs and the horses, right?
Sure.
That just hang out in the shed and just chill out with the animals.
Queen of the light beat eyebrow combo.
Right?
Fair.
That's
They
so
just-
funny.
they just
Oh yeah,
fucking you
Blue
up. That's
Gatsby.
great.
He's so creative with the names and stuff.
I like that.
So maybe he can write some bars for my intro so that I don't continue to embarrass
Bars.
myself.
It's bars.
Hey everybody.
I didn't even get my joint.
There you go.
There we go.
Tis I, hailing from the land of Sake, Shinobi, and Samurai. The boy is Godzilla personified. Ain't no other name but this to go by. It's your boy, Jay Taka. Also, Jayhawk.
Jayhawk.
That's what that means.
So yeah, if you guys have any questions for us, feel free to ask because we here at least for an hour. Cobb, what female villain do you identify with the most?
That is such a hard question.
Is it though?
Oh man, okay. What female villain do I identify the most with? Maybe a better question, or my answer to that is, are female villains actually villains?
Does society make them villains? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, are they actually bad? I mean, I'm pretty sure that I don't know. Like, I don't know female villains that I would most identify with. But the problem is, like, a lot of, if I'm thinking, I instantly want to go to Disney. And I'm thinking, like, a lot of the female villains in Disney are just angry about not being beautiful.
Have you watched Andor?
Andor? Mm-hmm. No, what is that?
It's a Star Wars thing.
And it's your homework. It's actually...
I'm supposed to be watching Star Wars, right? Oh, the animated one?
No.
Oh, boy.
We're not going to get her in trouble on the live portion.
Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy is great. Poison Ivy is great. Poison Ivy is just trying to protect the environment, right?
Is she, though? She's like pedo on steroids.
Nah, I bangs with Poison Ivy.
I refuse
and
to
Selena
accept
Kyle.
That. Sure. But it's, you know, like I said, pedo on steroids.
Does Poison Ivy have any movies that star her, or is she a protagonist in any?
She stars in Batman and Robin, which was
the
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, that one.
In there?
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, the worst Batman movie.
Was that Bat Nipples? That
was
Bat
Batman and
Nipples.
Robin.
That actually
it was
really,
Bat Nipples.
Oh, that was Bat Nipples.
I actually really liked that one.
Bat Nips.
What? Peter takes money from the corporate. I agree. I mean,
pedo on steroids.
Pedo on steroids. I stand by it.
That's a really tough
That's
question.
my product. I stand by.
I want to say Ursula because I think she's hilarious.
What about
Ursula,
Mother Gothel?
Who is Mother Gothel? Help me.
The only
Mother
villain
Knows Best.
Yeah, Mother Knows Best from
Tangled.
Tangled.
See, and people are just using Disney as people are just weaponizing Disney. And
Weaponizing Disney?
This is great. I'm enjoying.
People don't know that movie was intentionally gay and campy.
Which movie?
Tangled?
The Little Mermaid or Tangled?
I want to. Now I'm curious because now I got questions for the Barflyz. Like,
I feel like Father Beyond probably thinks that way about most movies, intentionally gay and campy. But no,
tell us what you mean. Like what movie?
Yeah.
We did discuss like 3 movies just now.
probably
Ursula
Tangled.
wasn't a villain. She just understood good business and made people sign.
She-
Hey,
That's such a
I don't
great
disagree.
That's such a good point.
I don't disagree at all.
Because like, if you don't know if you don't read the terms and conditions,
Whose
that's
fault
on
is
you.
that?
But you know, Ariel is a child, very naive, and Ursula just saw an opportunity.
Psycho
And
Pink, the
maybe
only
that's
Power
me.
Rangers John to get a kill off. I agree.
Wow.
Maybe. I feel like you would put somebody in the dirt if you had to.
What? She said that she was about to give up Riri Williams.
She really was.
what are you talking? No, I said
You said that in our review
I-
of Wakanda Forever.
You
Like,
I
you would
said-
have given her up.
I
You said
didn't
it
say-
earlier today.
I did not say that I would give her up. I said
Objectively.
She's
it
one
would-
body versus
yes.
many.
That doesn't mean I would. And I also countered by saying that
I just
that
give the order. I wouldn't do it.
I also countered that saying the black women in that movie did everything to protect her because they saw her as family, and they would not give her up even if they just met her. And I said that I respected that and understood that. I didn't say that I would give her up. I didn't say that.
Sure.
Yep.
Blue Gatsby is hilarious. He said she was 36 in fish years.
Sure, right? Like,
I hate this so much. We're going off live. We're gonna discuss this in.
I love that.
Ariel was grown.
I don't know if it's factual, but I like
Right.
it.
That might be my new fact. You know what's crazy though? Now that we're talking about Disney villains, right, or villainess, I feel like the only one I could really understand was Mother Gothel. Like, not
Really?
understand, but I saw her reflected in real life due to the fact that her only power, for real, was gaslighting Rapunzel. Was just like constantly.
Gaslighting is a superpower. That's for sure.
At least a villain superpower. Because she legit was like, hey, don't go outside. Bad people out there. She's like, Mom, but I'm almost 18. She's like, still, you're not ready for this life.
I
And
mean,
you're getting kind of chubby.
So wait, are you saying that she was a good villain? Or are
she
you
was a
saying
good
that,
villain. But like the most realistic.
because her tactics were
Her tactics, outside of like the glowing hair.
were Republican.
That. Right? Like,
not to throw a curveball. But the thought of like gaslighting people and saying like the outside world is dangerous, you need to stay in. I can think of a film that did that so beautifully, and it's became like one of my favorite films, The Village. I'll fight anybody.
Yeah.
I'll fight anybody who has anything bad to say about The Village.
I mean, it wasn't a good
wasn't
movie,
a great
but
movie.
actually, I thought that it was quite brilliant.
maybe the idea, concept, sure.
Execution was great.
M. Night Shyamalan did not get it right.
He got it right.
I will disagree.
In
with
fact,
you on
I
that
would
fact.
say he gets it right a lot of the times. He made mistakes? Sure.
A lot of times. Give me the a lot of times.
I think
movie,
he's
'cause
50-50. I'll give you 50-50.
How many movies? First of all,
I haven't
we got
se-
internet's here.
Oh boy, I'm being held accountable.
Oh no!
Oh, no. My one weakness, accountability. How will I ever go on? Let's see.
Oh, did he do After Earth?
He did.
That was one with Will Smith, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
and his son, the rapper.
Okay, so we can start in order.
In
So
order? We're gonna go.
I mean, that's not in order.
No, it's not. But I'll go to IMDb for you. We got time.
I mean, you can just go to Wiki.
We out here.
You just go to Wiki.
If y'all still sticking with us, we going to IMDb real fast.
If y'all still stick with us, tell us your favorite M. Night film. We all have a favorite.
Do we though?
We all have a favorite.
Actually, no, that's real.
I agree.
Split.
I enjoyed
Split.
Split.
Did I see
but
Split?
I think for
I did
me,
see Split, so it
I
was
like
good.
Unbreakable more. All right, so his first movie, Praying with Anger. Never seen it.
His
Avatar.
breakthrough. We're not
We don't
talking about
talk about
Avatar. It's fine. Like Avatar, that's low hanging fruit, y'all.
Last Airbender was garbage.
That's
Garbage.
Avatar
Basura.
is low hanging fruit. We don't need to even talk about it. The Sixth Sense. Okay, let's talk about the Sixth Sense because
Sense was phenomenal.
That's
I
right.
saw the Sixth Sense later. I saw the Sixth Sense like maybe 2.5 years ago,
Sure.
and I know that
Even though you know the twist.
no, I didn't know the twist, but I'm saying the
Yeah.
twist that is used is very common now, where it's like, oh, the whole time it was him, or it,
I mean,
you know,
it was a red herring.
it's a very common twist, but I didn't even see that coming in that. So I thought that movie was phenomenal.
We're not going to disrespect this man's
We're
name
not
too much,
finna-
but that's a funny one. I'm gonna let that slide.
M. Night Shyamalan. That's actually a great one. I saw a really great PSN name earlier. Oh, it was Ash Catch These Hands or something like that.
Oh, that's
Is that like a famous Instagram page?
That's our friend. That's
Okay,
Justin Rodriguez.
then maybe that's where I saw
That's
it.
J-Rod.
And I'm like,
Stream of
that is
consciousness, yeah.
absolutely genius.
Signs, garbage.
Wasn't a fan.
The Village. You already said.
One of the greatest movies ever made.
Lady in the Water.
I remember it being mid.
Strong skip. The Happening.
I think that The Happening was great and terrifying. I don't care what anybody says.
Okay.
That was when plants
When
rebelled.
and
Mark
people were just
Wahlberg,
like
yeah.
killing
And Mark
themselves.
Wahlberg.
Yeah. The Last Airbender. After Earth. All garbage. The Visit. Also bad.
I don't remember The Visit.
It was
Never
very.
seen it.
was-
Never heard of it actually.
Split was good.
Split was good,
You forgot.
though.
I think you forgot one. Did I miss?
I did
Oh,
not.
Devil.
Devil's
The-
not his.
I'm pretty sure he did Devil.
He did Signs, not Devil.
He did do Devil.
No.
Now going to IMDb.
Can we bet money on it, please?
Ooh, put the check up.
Can we bet money
Put
on
your
it? I'm
check
begging
up.
us to bet money on it
Put your check
immediately.
up.
Come on now.
Who got a
Come
check?
on now.
Who got the
He wrote
check?
the story. He wasn't the director.
He wrote it. He wrote it.
No.
Devil's. It did nothing but scream M. Night. It took place in downtown in Philly. He was in it. I think he had like a cameo.
It was in
That's
the elevator in one of the buildings I used to work in. It was.
Signs. Y'all mean Nope with white people, or is Nope Signs with black people?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen Nope yet.
Signs was a bit boring
waiting.
to me, but maybe at the time during when it came out, it was a lot more special.
Wasn't that the one with Dennis Quaid?
I don't know.
Dennis Quaid,
I just know Signs.
No,
was
Mel
Gibson, and
same white man. They are
Wow.
the same.
and one of the
Wow.
brothers, the
Right.
boy that played Joker. Can you hear me?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes, what a great name. Can you hand me some of that Bacardi?
Gordy.
Signs was the one where they invaded a planet 70% with their killing element, which was like
So that's your name.
they were like deathly allergic to water,
Nope is Jaws.
and they were like, you know what, this looks like a good place to settle down.
He also did The newer one that came. Oh, he did Glass. Glass was
Glass. I did not see Glass. I heard it's a okay.
He also did that other famous one.
It wraps up the trilogy.
The trilogy,
Right.
yeah. And he also did the one that came out recently on the beach.
Oh, Old,
Which I thought was an interesting concept. I think it had some holes, but
it was pretty wild. I think he adapted it. Like, that's not his story. He, I think, read it somewhere, read the book or something like that, and adapted it from that.
I see.
But yeah, no, that was pretty cool.
What's up?
Nothing. Trying to figure out why we lost the video on YouTube. Anyway, moving on.
What questions do y'all have for us? Or what arguments do y'all want to start with us?
Ooh, start these arguments.
That's what type of time we on today?
Apparently.
Or questions. Or questions.
YouTube.
Yeah. All right, it's back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys got any questions.
Or rather, like, how was y'all Friday night? You know, it's cold. I heard someone say it was supposed to snow.
I
did hear
it's
that.
Up there.
Pokemon came out today?
Happen. I've been playing Warzone.
Okay.
Weather. I don't even know about that.
Been playing Warzone, he says. How's that been?
It's broken.
What's that mean?
It's broken. The game's not ready to be played yet. They have
Warzone?
to do a whole bunch of like server balancing.
Better,
and all
like,
that.
what
Warzone
do you
2.
mean?
Warzone. Oh, I see.
They have a beta mode for something called DMZ, which is essentially Escape from Tarkov.
Okay.
And I enjoy that. I'm having fun with that.
That's
We'll
good.
see how that goes.
That's good.
Can you pour me some of that Bacardi?
I can give you the bottle.
Sure.
You can pour it.
That's really interesting. Because I think this new Warzone came out around the same time as Modern Warfare 2.
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Blue Gatsby. He's winning right now in the comments.
Spider-Man can't lose a chess game unless it's to Doctor Strange. All right, let's pass this on to the Disney folks right here
To the
who
Disney
can
folks.
Marvel
argue
folks,
this.
Put some respect.
Marvel Disney folks right here.
Right.
The
But
Marvel Disney partnership.
I need ground. I need you to base that on something, because I disagree with you wholeheartedly. Spider-Man is more intelligent than Doctor Strange.
Oh,
So,
really?
yes,
How so?
Spider-Man's still one of the smarter people in Marvel. Now,
Really?
if we're talking about MCU, Tom Holland versus Doctor Strange, maybe that's a conversation.
Just like intelligence, like that thing that you
He's
are
an
currently.
inventor. Like
Doctor Strange?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? What did Spider-Man invent?
All of his gadgets up until recently in the comics.
But doesn't
I thought it was Dr.
Doctor
Octopus.
Strange like invent spells?
No, he takes existing spells.
But don't he be combining them and stuff?
Sometimes, sure. I think his intelligence has to do with magic, and therefore is not necessarily something that can be, I don't know, scaled to academic intelligence, I guess.
I mean, but we're talking about a chess game.
But a chess game, right? Like what chess game? Imagine Yu-Gi-Oh! On a basketball court shooting niggas.
If Yu-Gi-Oh is the king of games, then in theory he would be the greatest basketball player of all time. I believe that.
This is a level of power scaling that I don't know if I approve of it, but I accept it.
Yugi does well, at least when he turns into
I'm about to
Yami.
say he has to turn. He has to transform.
I mean, he's like 3 feet
But
taller.
Imagine him trashing people.
Yes.
actually I can see it.
Can he summon? Can he summon Yu-Gi-Oh like cards when he's
He
playing
got the
basketball?
Dark Magician and like Exodia in the paint.
Okay, you saying so if Doctor Strange uses magic to see all the futures and possibilities, therefore he wins. Fine.
This is giving me like these strange rules that. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that Sailor Moon versus that Sailor Moon can be
It's one of
Goku
those
argument,
things, like, you
which
just gotta
is-
be there, right? Like,
no, it's just like adding stuff that shouldn't be there and assuming and implying.
Do you think Sailor Moon can beat Goku?
I think that that argument is kind of funny, but I know that it's kind of a ridiculous argument to make.
That's
It's like
fair.
it's just
Yu-Gi-Oh! Better than Jordan. Prove me wrong.
at least Yugi is probably a better person.
Then Jordan?
I'm not gonna say it.
You can say it. I mean, this is what we do here.
Like, typically, like,
cocktails,
older-
culture and
Like
content. That's
typically,
what we
like
do.
Jordan haters, aka like maybe older black men, tend to say that Michael Jordan killed his dad.
Wow.
Yeah.
That went left.
It did. That's why I said, like, Yugi is probably
That's
a better
not what
friend.
I was expecting.
Who's told you this?
I've worked around a lot of, like, older black men in many of my, wait, that sounds bad. I was about to say in many of my jobs. I've worked around a lot of people that talk a lot about sports and conspiracies within sports. And I think some people have this belief or this theory that Michael Jordan has some hand or something, some responsibility in his father's death. Which is why I said Yugi is probably a better friend.
Like he uses that as a sacrifice?
Huh. Yugi?
No.
Because I thought
Michael
that was,
Jordan.
sacrificing.
I know. Man.
My bad.
Top dry snitching.
Then again, was Yugi a good friend? Like, you really allowed that boy to jump in the water for some cards.
But
like,
it was the heart of the cards.
It was the heart of the cards.
So,
But, like, loyalty. Like, you really was like, yo, you can jump in and grab the Exodia pieces and die.
Though, like, when it comes to winning, the ends justify the means.
Does it?
If you're Yugi,
all right,
you got to see it through, my boy.
And still did great even without the Exodia pieces. Exodia is like, first of all, how would that even? How would you even summon an Exodia while playing the card game, like while playing Yu-Gi-Oh? How would that happen?
You just put the cards in.
Yeah.
You got to have all of them in your hand at the same time.
Yeah.
How would that even happen? How can you possibly survive a game and have a deck of what isn't the max like 30 to 50 cards? How would you get it?
Is there a max?
Yeah.
There is a max, actually.
Yeah.
But
really?
I don't know. Good writing? What do
Good writing?
you want us to
or
say?
like graveyard type cards, I think, or draw type cards. Like, I think maybe a good Yu-Gi-Oh card player would make sure that a lot of the cards.
Lucid Dawn's
Plot.
says plot. Blue Gatsby says again, also Deadpool only exists because Big Pharma doesn't want to release the cure for cancer.
Are we running into another conspiracy theory?
Now I feel like we have to have Blue Gatsby on the show.
Yep, gotta invite him. Might as well request to join the live. He gets on lives. I need to know what this man is thinking. Not that I care about anything Disney.
Why don't you care about anything Disney?
Because I just feel like they're just ruining the industry, yo.
Of what?
They just have this monopoly. And they just seem like they just have this like monopoly on everything. They ruined Kingdom Hearts 3. They just seem to have like this level of control over everything, and it's kind of like this Disney effect and everything that and everybody's only excited about Disney and Marvel movies now. It feels
That's
like
not
it's
true at all.
Feels like now we're about to have Disney movies nominated for Oscars,
So
and
you just steamrolled over what I was saying. I don't agree.
What'd you say? I'm sorry, in here. I was talking about Disney and they're becoming a superpower.
They've been a superpower.
They've always been like something very special, but ever since that merge, who was it then that bought Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, yo, like y'all are just gonna end up.
Well,
They also
Marvel was
bought Star
dying,
Wars.
though.
It's just. Yeah, I mean that's the idea. Like, yeah, like
Star Wars was dying,
I'm just so tired of them. Like,
and they understood
Where's
that there
DreamWorks
was
at? It's not Disney fault Superman. I mean, no, but you know what it's time for? It's time for a good Superman game. We have the technology and we have the companies now that can make a good Superman game. It's time.
Here's where we're gonna stay. We're gonna stay right in that caveat for a second.
Can you pass the accordion?
Slow down.
Right.
Wait, this is only my second.
Oh.
Tell me what makes a good Superman game. You tell me that.
Mechanics. Just like a good Spider-Man.
No. It can't just be mechanics.
It has to be just like in Spider-Man. What matters the most in these new Spider-Man games is the web slinging.
I'm assuming you want a open world Superman.
It doesn't have to be that open world. I mean, it could
has to be.
It doesn't have to be like The Witcher.
The man can run as fast as a speeding bullet.
You can put limitations on that in a video game.
But why?
It doesn't have to be like World of Warcraft big. Come on, like it doesn't have to be this huge world.
Who wants to throw cards at people for 22 hours?
Also, Superman's just too strong.
Come on, y'all. Like, this is ridiculous. A Superman game. It's time. Who is it? Warner Brothers.
Yes.
They can do it, yo. It's about mechanics. The flying. All of
Superman's not a detective, so you've lost most of your grounds for a story right there. Him having to figure out a crime.
A lot of people just come straight at him.
Are y'all kidding me?
The reason why the Arkham games work is because you also still have to be Batman, like a detective.
Have to figure it out.
You have
Make
to
it up.
fight.
Figure it out.
Too much of Superman exists strictly on mythos. Like, America's not going to let you just make a Superman game.
Why not?
Because if you divert from who he is as a legend, this archetype that he now exists as. I mean, first of all,
but you can confine it within
to be fair, he was only created because somebody read the Bible and was like,
if you can make a Superman movie, you can make a Superman game. Come on, yo.
I don't
like,
agree.
come on, like they haven't tried it in like what, over 20 years?
I don't.
Superman movies
A
good?
Superman game could be successful.
I don't.
The story doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be canon. It doesn't have to align with everything
Super got a day job. Also, newspaper is dying. Half the game.
Haven't y'all played Persona? Hunting. In the daytime, you just be a kid.
Lou Gatsby might be my new favorite person today, but I don't see how I could play a game that's more than 30 hours.
Y'all play The Sims. Y'all play games where you have to cook and live a. So
like, that's what you want to do as Superman? Cook?
Maybe in the daytime it's like, I gotta go to work.
But you have to do all of that because that's the game. Superman being a invincible, unstoppable smash character.
He doesn't have to be unstoppable. He doesn't have to be. Like, come on, y'all play Injustice. He's not unstoppable. You can put limit
where the sun is a red sun. He's half powered.
Imagine the universe, make it, and turn it into a video game. How hard? Come on, y'all. We're talking about people that are creators that can create a story in a video game out of anything, and you're telling me that a Superman game can't exist? The only limitation, the only challenge to making a Superman game is mechanics.
Sure.
You have to be able to make a game where flying just like swimming is really hard to animate and do, and web slinging is hard. If we make flying around feel comfortable for gamers, then it can happen. The story doesn't have to be that great.
I really don't think it's the mechanics. I feel like, could you make a game with Superman? Sure. I just don't know how enjoyable it would be. Because where would the challenge be?
What is Superman? And I don't know a lot about Superman, his story. And it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. I didn't know a lot about Spider-Man either, but I enjoyed Spider-Man. I enjoyed Spider. What are you talking about? I don't have to be like informed on Superman to say
Real
like
talk,
we
the
can.
jetpack does get boring on GTA after like an hour flying around.
You're really about to compare.
And so the only way a Superman game works is you can't get a linear story out of Superman.
I didn't say that it had to be linear.
So it has to be open world.
Open world is not. Listen, linear. Open world is not the. It's not like this binary where it's like if you're not linear, that means you're open world, or if you're not open world, then that means you're linear. That's not true. Like open world it really is like, I feel like that word is kind of thrown around too much. Really, open world should really only be applied to. It really came from like MMOs, I imagine.
Initially.
But there are games that can still be open and not be linear, but not be so overwhelming. Like The Witcher is a game that I would say is extremely it's non-linear, it's huge, the world is huge, it's overwhelming. But games like God of War, like the reboot God of War, it was still linear, but there were still periods in the game where it opened up. Exploration, right? And the game doesn't have to be gigantic. It doesn't have to be this huge. We can put limitations on it. It doesn't have to be.
So I guess my question is, and maybe you don't know this answer, but what would the story be that would somehow limit Superman, the guy who can fly off into space?
In Superman's stories, has he ever had challenge?
Makes sense.
But at that point, just play Dragon Ball Universe. We're hey.
Right. But what was the question you were about to ask?
The question was, in Superman's stories, in his movies or in the comics, does he have challenges? Like, does he have difficulties? Does he have to save like regular civilians sometimes?
I mean, sure, but like,
so does Spider-Man. There are side missions that Spider-Man got like
but
savable.
Superman's is on a almost inhuman scale, right? Like he hears
Then scale it there. Then scale it, or put limitations where you can only use your X-ray vision for a few seconds, and you can upgrade it. What? Come on, y'all! Like, yes, sir.
So you want like Smallville? You don't want Superman.
I was thinking about Smallville.
You want a Smallville game?
You want a Smallville game?
Hey, maybe we can start a Smallville, and maybe a sequel can put you.
You want a Smallville game? That's what it is.
Anyway,
you want a Smallville game. That's fine.
We got the answer. They have a Suicide Squad game where they fight Superman. They do.
And how'd that go?
It's currently still being developed by Rocksteady. So.
Rocksteady. They still make games?
Yes.
Listen, Injustice, Superman be getting trashed.
Because the plot was everyone has kryptonite in their bloodstream to fight him.
It is a fighting game. I'm talking about arcade mode, yo. Depending on, like, Superman be OP sometimes, but he be getting smashed. Especially...
Bully Part 2. I accept that.
Ugh. Bully like Rockstar? Mm-hmm. Never played that. I've been embarrassed to say I never played that.
I didn't even know that.
I don't think you're going to miss anything now. Going back to play it now would be...
They're talking about like remasters and stuff like that.
Doesn't matter.
Rapper the Rapper.
Yeah, no, I really would like to see a game like that, but you would also need a game where destruction is like the capabilities of destruction are very high. The technology available to do that, it exists. Right. It can happen. Anything currently on the new Unreal Engine, sure, we could do that. It's just a matter of who's willing to invest that much money. Will it have the fans' faith?
That's another thing. Like, is it gonna, like, could you make it? Maybe. Would it sell?
Well, I mean, Warner Brothers or whoever, Warner Brothers, I think, is the publisher, but the developers of of Injustice and the Arkham series, like, they know how to develop games. Mm-hmm. And I think a Superman project would be a huge project. It'll be incredibly difficult, but I think that it could be done. It's just a matter of, well, do we want to spend these mills?
Faith of a mustard
also,
seed.
The Superman brand is trash.
I was just getting ready to say that. He read my mind. No one wants to play the Boy Scout. So the only way it really works is if you do like an Injustice type Superman where he is...
You're the anti-hero?
You're the villain.
The villain?
You're the villain.
Outright.
Just straight up. Or like a Superman Red Sun. Something like that.
Or that other bull. What's his name? What's the other bull name? That
Luther?
No, like what's the bull that's like Superman but he's like inside out or something?
Bizarro.
Yeah.
Inside out.
Whatever.
Upside down. Yeah, all those things you'd have to play it because no one wants to always play the hero. Even when you're playing especially sandbox destruction type games, it's not from the perspective of...
Then make it a thing. Hey, y'all play Red Dead Redemption?
Yeah, you're not a hero in that.
But here's the thing, like, depending on the choices that you make, it kind of impacts your reputation and, like...
Wait, wasn't that a game where you start off low and, like, you, like, get powers throughout?
Red Dead Redemption?
No.
Infamous was great.
Oh, yeah. Infamous was one of those games I didn't really get too much into.
Really?
I mean, I played the first one. I got a PS3 very late.
A Captain America game with Battlefield 1 mechanics would be crazy.
What? Does anybody care about Battlefield?
Not currently. 20,
but I mean, if you put Captain America in it.
People care about Captain America?
I think his game would be a lot more interesting than Superman's.
What? Like,
he can't fly, so it's like, well, great. There's a struggle. I gotta get this Jeep.
I'd like to know the demographics of who buys that game.
Probably the same people who would buy the Superman game.
It'd be a lot of white men, but it'd be both liberal and Republicans.
You think so?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't want to punch a Nazi in the face? You don't want to punch a Nazi in the face?
Can we not get canceled before we begin, please?
You don't want to punch a Nazi in the face?
I don't want to punch anybody.
Wow. That sounds like false statements.
Who do I want to punch? Like, come on, y'all.
Apparently, the people who are not making the Superman game.
I don't like Superman. I don't like any superheroes, yo. I don't like superheroes. I think that they're a mess. I think that they're not good people.
You don't like American-based superheroes? Is that what you're trying to say? Because I feel like you watch a lot of anime, and there's a lot of heroes in that, and a lot
not
of
really
super-ish heroes.
There are a lot of people that have superhuman abilities.
Sure.
But I think like superheroes, like the Batman and whatever, and Spider-Man.
MHA is the only one, really.
Really, yeah.
MHA.
But I think like Spider-Man. But the thing is, at least with MHA, there's like a lot of them, a lot of heroes. But the thing is, like
Marvel
my problem with superheroes like Spider-Man and Batman are that people like Batman, it's like, yeah, you're that guy. But the problem is like you're living in a city that is probably filled with corruption and violence. And
it's Jersey, so
is that what it's based off of?
Gotham's in Jersey. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I thought it was based off of
Detroit.
Like, New
For some
York.
reason, I thought it was Detroit or something.
Gotham is Jersey.
Didn't know that. What
I
part
thought-
of
Located in New Jersey.
But what is this? What city?
No, it's just like
I thought it was Detroit for some reason.
I heard that. So New York is like Metropolis is like the ritzy or the nice place of New York, and then
Uptown,
Gotham
yeah.
City is like down in the gutter.
But
like
it's
now
in Jersey.
geographically they might be in different places, but they were based off of
why the
parts
Avengers
of
didn't
New
go
York.
to T'Challa's funeral. I assume they didn't know about it, but they posted a BLM flag.
Probably.
Or they took a knee. And like,
There's
and
also,
now
like,
we will
no
make,
Avengers.
have a moment of silence.
Oh, is that like
Currently,
Current?
there's no Avengers.
They're
with
dead?
kente cloth.
Not the Kente cloth.
They did.
They disbanded
took a knee.
after they disbanded after Endgame.
So is that just like that's it?
Nah, that's not it.
No,
Like for the
Good Lord.
Avengers?
As of right now, there's not going to be another Avengers movie. I think,
First of
outside
all,
Secret
I need
War.
to know why ain't nobody talking about this Titan birthing from the Earth. Like nobody's talking about that.
the Celestial.
Yeah,
I mean, though, like, what do you want them to say, right?
this is the MCU. Like it, we need to talk about it at some point. Otherwise, what was the point of the Eternals?
I would like to think that people are too busy with their lives to pay attention to it.
To a celestial bursting out of the Earth,
It's also in Antarctica, though.
but it burst out of the
But
Earth.
it's also in Antarctica, though.
Nah.
That's how I stand on it. It's not directly affecting them, which is most of the
That also doesn't sound
problems.
like science.
No, it does to me at least because it ain't
Okay.
directly affecting me. So that's why global warming keeps happening. That's why Starbucks get away with upcharging people for.
But I
vegan milk.
feel like
it
because
doesn't-
of science and two things cannot operate in the same space, a celestial bursting out of the Earth, even if it's in Antarctica, would raise the water levels to a point that somebody would notice millions of miles down the way.
I would like to argue that due to whatever Thanos did with the snap originally, already affected the ecosystem in a way that this didn't directly affect.
Nah, because then they snapped it back though. So that is null and void.
What is real? What are you asking? Is this real? I'll wait for him to get
I
back
think
to
what
me.
y'all are like.
Yes,
talking
but the
about.
Eternal at the end of Eternals, a celestial pops out of the
Halfway.
like
Not even half.
it was
It was a
about
quarter.
to show up.
A quarter of the
And
way.
they were like,
His hand came out,
yeah,
right?
and his face.
His hand in his face.
They've mentioned it a few times. You've seen it like in articles and
Where?
She-Hulk.
Where?
One episode, she's like on the website and they talk about, yeah, you didn't miss anything with it. So the some website she was on, they were like, "There's a hand sticking out of Antarctica." What? And that was it. Like,
Did you see this
she
on
never
like
clicked on,
New Rockstars or something like that?
No,
Because they pay attention to that.
I be paying attention. To
Is
stuff
this
like
comic stuff?
Yes.
Or like
MCU stuff at currently?
okay, but not Disney, right?
Yes. Disney.
Well.
MCU is Disney.
Wait, but does Disney have any sort of control or over the comic books issues?
Yes, because they own the company.
Really?
But Marvel
have
has
they?
most
Are they
of-
giving them?
I thought they just owned the studios.
They have own Marvel Studios, but they're partnered with the comic books.
You know what I see happening, and I'm gonna call it now because I know that they're probably in the writers' room working on it now.
Yeah.
Given that Disney owns Lifetime, and Disney also owns Marvel, I know what's gonna happen, right? I know that there is going to be a Lifetime drama like a romance or just a tragic drama that includes two random Marvel characters, or like a biopic that involves Marvel characters. I'm just waiting on it to happen.
Oh no, they're probably going to give it to you by way of
Squirrel Girl. Just kidding.
Stop.
pro-
Hulkling and what's his name? Wiccan.
A Lifetime Movie Network original.
But Blue Gatsby again with the questions coming in. Who pays for a city destroyed by superhero fights?
I asked that question before.
Whoever owns that insurance company is a zillionaire.
I think like we kind of like sidetracked when I was talking about my issue with superheroes is that I think from what I remember from one of what's the guy's name that's in Spider-Man, that the journalist that's a mess, Jameson. When I was playing Spider-Man, he would come on like the radio system and just complain about. He kind of reminds me of Alex Jones a little bit. I don't know whether he was based. He wasn't based off of Alex Jones, but
he's been around longer than.
He's been around much longer than Alex Jones, but just the way that he was talking on the radio, it kind of reminds me of Alex Jones. But one thing he was saying was, you know, Spider-Man and these superheroes, they actually do more harm than good because a lot of these issues involving all of these enemies that have this superhuman and mutant strength, they come after the reason that it's increasing is because of Spider-Man, right? Like, yes, Spider-Man is dealing with it, but it's this idea that Spider-Man is one person who's going around the city providing support to people, but how are these communities actually being equipped with the means to support themselves? Because Spider-Man is just one guy, and Batman is just one guy. Batman is rich and he has ability and he has access, but how can these communities actually get to a point where they can actually protect themselves? We can't depend on this one guy to protect us. So why isn't Batman putting his time, energy, and money into arming and helping to organize communities so that they don't have to rely on him so much, so that he doesn't have this insane job of protecting a city that has probably millions? And I'm not saying Spider-Man I know is not rich, but it's like when you have this
exists to inspire
people to do what?
Rise up against bad and evil doing.
But I'm saying, like, but when we rely on this hero to, at least in the games, right? She's like, thanks, Spider-Man, I was being robbed. When do we get to a point where it's like we're no longer depend on this one guy and start really equipping communities to be able to take care of each other? Why is that not the point?
I think the issue comes in where there's only a few with like powers and there are many without. So it's like you're saying, like, why don't they like band together and like overthrow the evil people?
But not even just the evil people that have like this super mutant strength, but also like a lot of times Spider-Man is interrupting like street crime, right? Like he's like saving people from robberies and kidnappings and all these other things.
The villains give street jobs sometimes, but so does the government.
Yeah, and these grunts out here just kind of trying. If you even listen to the dialogue of like the grunts in these games and like they just really trying to survive too. Right, they just trying to make it too. Like they trying to like they like have limited access to wealth, and they are just.
So you're down with the grunts?
I'm not saying I'm down with the grunts. I'm just saying that I don't think that superheroes actually make life safer, and they destroy property.
I will,
and are not held accountable for it.
I will agree that heroes create
more problems.
A morality without ethics. Right, like I take issue with some random person throwing hands at me for a crime that has not been reported to the local, police station. Right, like you stop me before the crime gets reported. Like Batman's one of those kind of people.
Well,
like
that's just being a vigilante,
right?
And also, Blue Gatsby says like Avengers never go after the corporations that steal money and poison the environment.
No, they do. However, bureaucracy being what it is, governments also be like, hey, you can't do that.
But even so, even with the
Captain
existence
America
of superheroes,
has, on multiple occasions, like taken off his suit and said, I don't represent America anymore, I represent the people.
All right, and what material differences does that make for the people? And the thing is, like
still blonde hair and blue
what ends up happening is the people that end up suffering the most when there are both heroes and villains are like working class people, poor people.
So
you know, like
what's saying? So I guess my question is, do you
Who are
think
you championing for right now?
Yeah.
I don't like superheroes. I just don't like. I think that they're boring. I think that they don't make life better for anyone. I think that they're a bit that what's up with your ego? Like if you, a good hero should be one that's trying to mobilize and organize the communities that they swear that they're protecting, so that these communities maybe don't have to rely on this one man to protect them from the world. Because what happens if Spider-Man has to call in sick one day?
He has.
Right, what happens? People are just like, oh no, I'm being robbed. Where's Spider-Man? So it creates a crutch, and it's like
So I guess my question is,
one person.
that's my problem with superheroes. Is that that's not how it works,
so
right?
wait, so let's take Spider-Man. How would he encourage the community to do better with like his powers? Mind you, that's just web slinging and climbing up walls and Spidey sense.
Yo, man, he also know how to fight and stuff too.
Sure. So what? He opens up a dojo.
Yo, man, like even thinking about like the Black Panther Party, like they went into communities and showed people how to fight and defend themselves and arm themselves and keep themselves safe so that they can depend on each other. So it's like Spider-Man should take more of a community approach.
So he should open up a dojo.
I didn't say he should open up a dojo. I'm just saying like Spider-Man is all superheroes. They have an ego. And I hate it.
But Spider-Man,
and it's always these communities that they live in that are filled with like black and brown poor people that have to end up depending on this white man typically, or this white team typically. And when the white team is out on vacation or sabbatical, they're the ones that it all falls on.
Spider-Man grew up in Queens.
I don't care.
People there.
Okay. And
That just kind of nullifies your point.
Yeah, it just kind of nullifies your point. But
Batman
doesn't have prison reform. I agree. But Arkham is technically supposed to be reformed. That's why most of the villains go back to Arkham and not like Blackgate. Right? Because if they go to Blackgate, then they're supposed to go there and rot. However, Spider-Man is also a genius of tech.
You did say he was the most intelligent boy.
He at one point did create a tech company that gave the population of New York City technology on the cheap.
On the cheap.
Not at a high price point.
So there's still profit that needs to be gained.
He made
well, it has to be made. Right. He's not rich.
And then what happened was what happened was his company got sabotaged and overthrown. So he was like,
but what kind of technology?
He was called the poor man's Tony Stark. Like, he made like these smart watches. So like, if anyone was ever in danger, like contact the local authorities. It created this Web3 kind of network where it was decentralized and information could go where it needed to go.
What, to the police?
Police,
but then that
responders.
So how
is the community, because if anything was about to happen,
to depend what on their police force?
Wait, is that not
what you're asking for?
I didn't say that. I did not say anything about depending on the police force, y'all. I said community. I said communities being able to take care of each other and support each other. I didn't say nothing about police.
While I believe in the socialist dream, it's a flawed dream.
What's a flawed dream?
Socialism in general.
I didn't say anything about socialism.
This is essentially what you're arguing is socialism. How the
communities
will depend on itself.
Communities taking care of them or protecting themselves, that is by definition socialism. Like, I feel like that's very basic. That doesn't have to be some political.
You're also removing police, right? Like you said, if the police are getting called, then how is that really helping the community?
What does that have to do with calling for socialism? The community ain't asking for more police. They're saying resources, right? And it's like, if when communities have enough resources, so you're saying
for Spider-Man to go and disband the government.
Technically, I think that Spider-Man shouldn't exist. Maybe the goal of Spider-Man should be to not exist, right? Because if his idea is to fight crime, then his goal should be so that people should be able to, these communities should be able to take care of themselves. And obviously crime is natural, crime happens, but technically speaking, like when the police arrive, the crime is done. Police don't interrupt robberies or assaults or murders. It's already done, right? They're just here to clean up, if that. So if we equip the community with enough resources,
we no longer need a Spider-Man.
Then we don't need a Spider-Man, and then we won't need the police.
I guess my only issue with that is that in the world of superheroes, there are going to be people who get powers who just want to be villains. And I don't know how you counteract that.
What came first, heroes or villains?
A super hero.
Like superheroes or supervillains, which one came first? Because honestly, I would argue that a villain is what creates most superheroes, right? Like the Uncle Ben situation.
Uncle Ben. Oh,
Uncle Ben got shot.
Uncle Ben got shot, and that motivated Spider-Man to use his powers for.
I would agree with Blue Gatsby. I think that heroes come before villains.
Okay, I don't agree. Like I feel like there's always this launch pad that happens for people.
Bruce Wayne's parents got shot.
Spider-Man lost a whole planet. I mean, not Superman. You know,
that was. I feel like that was natural disasters, but you would probably know more than me.
It was, but it was also bureaucracy. Otherwise, everyone would have survived.
Because they could have fixed it.
His dad was like, "Hey, global warming is about to happen," and they was like, "Nah."
He tried to do it for the community, and they were like,
"A community tried to stand up, and government was like, mm." So,
but I mean, isn't this idea that like? But typically speaking, like if we're just talking outside of like, if we're
that's how you gonna do it. That's how you gonna do it.
Right. I mean, that's true. The boy that killed Uncle Ben was just like get out the way, yo. He was just in the way. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Uncle Ben.
That's BS.
I'm not saying Uncle. I don't think.
That's the most BS I've heard you say, Blue Gatsby.
I was in your corner, dog. Like, what are you talking about?
Uncle Ben, like, wait, how did Uncle Ben?
He got carjacked, and Uncle Ben was giving him the car, and he still killed him.
All right.
Wow. In that moment, Spider-Man was trying to win money to get his family out.
And look at what capitalism has done, because capitalism has created this reality. That wasn't
the question at hand, though.
It does.
That wasn't the question at hand.
This is how it trickles down, right? Is that like Spider-Man should not have been risking his life and his safety to make some bread.
I'm sorry. Blue Gatsby is great. Uncle Ben was an op.
He didn't vote for Obama. He might have voted for Obama.
With great power comes great. I feel like that's a great.
But we can talk about why was Spider-Man putting himself on the line for some bread?
Because his Uncle Ben and Aunt May had been taking care of him his entire life.
Okay.
He finally had the means to be able to do something for them. Aunt May and Uncle Ben is up in age.
But I'm saying, like, why did he have to put his body on the line? Why was he pushed to put his body on the line for some money? Because
America. Like, what else?
Right. That's my point. Is that it wasn't the bull that killed Uncle Ben. It was capitalism that killed Uncle Ben.
And so you're saying,
and also the bull stole that. He stole money, right? He robbed somebody.
He carjacked Uncle Ben and left him on the side of the road.
Yo, man, the thing is, maybe if Bull had access and resources to what he needed, he wouldn't have to take somebody's car. Right? That Bull, you can probably make a movie about the Bull that killed Uncle Ben. About, because villains are getting their own movies now. You could probably make a movie about Bull.
Blue Gatsby is great. With great power comes great responsibility. I mean, okay, Uncle Ben. But let's talk about the system in place that limits who has access to that power.
That's true.
I don't disagree.
That's true. So we can look at the boy that killed Uncle Ben and not the reality that the system that created this reality where Uncle Ben had to be killed.
Go back and rewrite Spider-Man?
I want Spider-Man to go.
And do what?
Leave. Like, superheroes do not make the world a better place. They make the world a worser place.
I don't agree. I don't agree, because even if you eliminate the idea of superheroes, right, you still have villains. Whether it be in capitalism, I would identify a lot of our Senate, House of Representatives, anybody that does shady stuff, Elon Musk, like these people are super villains.
But you know what's funny, and I think that it comes back to the question of, well, which came first? Heroes came first, right? These people that believe that they know what's best for people, or that they know how to keep the world safe and successful, they are actually the ones that end up being the villains. So one can argue,
trying to quote Two-Face now?
Is that what Two-Face said?
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
I mean, I don't know if I agree with that. I'm saying, I don't know boy like that. I'm just saying that, like, I think that all, like, these villains that we talk about, even if we're talking outside of, like, the superhero universe, like, people that end up becoming or being labeled as villains at one point thought that what they were doing was heroic. So maybe heroes are actually what comes before villains.
That's why the Court of Heroes let him ride. Yo, he has not missed in the comments except for that one.
I feel like him and I are saying like some of the same things.
Sure.
And y'all are giving me trash, but not him. But it's true. It's like, yo, Batman is a supervillain.
I would agree that Batman's a villain.
Then you must agree that all superheroes are villains.
No, I don't feel that way. There are some people who are just like above it all. However,
name a hero.
They're also like ineffective as heroes to me.
Name a hero that is effective as a hero and is not a supervillain. Oh wait.
Oh yeah. Because I got a list of people that
Batman
are
used child labor and got his son killed, and he smashed his son's girl. Is that accurate?
What?
I don't know. I don't really know any.
Yeah, no, I need to.
Hey, Ashanti.
I gotta know what that is referencing because I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Batman just needed to go to therapy.
Yes, I would agree. I don't disagree with that at all. I feel like there would be no Batman if he had effective therapy.
Yeah. And that's what it is.
But Batman exists out of white privilege. I stand by that.
And maybe also entitlement as well.
White privilege. I mean, what is white privilege if not entitlement by way of, white supremacy?
I think that, okay, fair enough.
I don't, the question was what superhero
is effective.
Is effective.
And is not a villain. Blue Marvel?
Blue Marvel.
Who?
Yeah, that's
Who
probably
that
why.
lady?
That man.
Oh. All right.
He is considered to be like one of the most powerful heroes in Marvel.
Is it possible to be the most powerful and not be a villain?
Yes.
Okay.
Normally because he deals with like existential concepts. He never really like fights. He does fight hand to hand with like real villains.
Okay. So what makes him a good person, or what makes him a good hero, or an effective hero?
An effective hero? He's always dealing with the science and like always defending the existence of humanity to like the concept of like nihilism and eternity and things like that. Like he justifies the existence of humanity in the small scope that we would be in that realm.
Through his words or through his actions? Or through his work, right?
Action.
Okay, give me an example.
Like he fight. He's smart. Like, he can turn to living matter.
But how does that make you?
Oh, you said Batman.
How does that?
Sorry, Batman had sex with Batgirl. Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about Killing Joke, that's not canon. So
doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be canon.
It's not canon. Sorry.
I'm not trying to hear that. Y'all can't just put these rules on.
It's not canon. Sorry.
Warner Brothers said yes. Warner Brothers said fine.
Somebody said yes. I don't know.
They didn't get sued.
It was somebody who had that dream for a long
time. They didn't get sued, so therefore it is legitimate.
Sure, but no.
Y'all are very selective with y'all Marvel and DC, yo. It's wild.
I feel very attacked at this moment. I don't know why.
I don't want to talk about Marvel and DC anymore. We're like fun. Their pockets are just being filled simply from this conversation. I feel like
we had endorsements,
because one of the 7 people in this room probably are going to go purchase or watch something that is Marvel related or DC related.
If they are, it's not going to be because of the conversation fault. We had.
It's really not. It's going to be. It's probably because we talked them away from it.
I like that point.
Never went to therapy, and that's why he doesn't properly fund. Sure.
At the expense of poor people and exploited people. It's at their expense. It's not at his expense.
All right.
That's a big cup of Bacardi. Can I have some of that?
But I don't know. Do you start to blame Bruce Wayne for the traumatic things that happened to him, or his refusal to heal, or choose to judge the way he sought to heal?
I don't think he should be made responsible. He's not
Marvel Universe, Black Panther ain't canon. You're right. However, You know,
MCU canon.
He MCU canon, and Killing Joke Batman is Batman. Killing Joke canon, whatever. But yeah,
That's neither here nor there.
it's not.
So, in what world? All right, so I guess I would want to say create a world that has
Batman punch poor people.
poor people for therapy. Create a world outside of
This
capitalism.
is gonna be our last question, by the way.
Oh, it gotta be good.
Yeah.
Create a world outside of capitalism that allows for black stories to thrive.
One more time.
Create a world outside of capitalism that allows for black stories to thrive.
I don't think. See, I haven't lived in a world without capitalism, and so I feel like if I was to create any of those kind of worlds, however, I would always find that capitalism finds its way in somehow. Even socialism itself is a fraud.
Like, what's a good story that you would want to like read about or that you would pitch that is outside of the realm of capitalism?
I had thought that
deals with a black protagonist or whatever.
I had thought that in some ways like Black Panther can be sort of seen as just like, or not Black Panther, but Wakanda could be seen as just, or maybe the intent or how Wakanda was portrayed in the movies, at least. I know like you said, the comic books it's very different. There are a lot of other complexities added. That's not touched by capitalism.
Yeah, outside of capitalism.
Well, I mean, I thought that maybe in the movies that Wakanda was supposed, and somebody raised a good point. This isn't my idea, but he raised a point that like Wakanda is really intended, at least in the movies, to be seen as like a black utopia that could be seen outside of capitalism. But I think we sort of interpret it that way because obviously how much we're impacted and how much we live in it. So we're scrutinizing it through a capitalistic lens. But somebody raised a good point that like Wakanda could be seen as like a place where everyone has their needs met.
My only pushback to that is that I don't know how they traded goods within Wakanda, but I do know that it seems that they had markets.
Yes, and sort of like a bartering system maybe, where like I have this and you have that and let's trade. And also like to my knowledge, like Wakanda did trade with other countries. They just maybe weren't. They were a lot more conservative with vibranium.
But I feel like that's still capitalist because it's like your 3 melons are worth how much?
The first Black Panther, they actually say that they don't trade. There's no open trade at all
with anything,
with anyone in the world.
So how would they get their? Is Wakanda a land that has all resources needed? Like they don't get any of.
Provided like their infrastructure, a large portion of their infrastructure.
Okay.
The country itself has like animals and crops and all that stuff.
So they can rely completely on themselves for all of their resources.
Correct.
Fine. And I mean, I guess like that would be like a place where if everyone's needs are being met, right? Mm-hmm. If there's not an exploited class of people, then yeah. Well, I mean, the actuality is that there is, but I think the movies presented like everyone kind of, there were people that were traders, and there were people that were farmers, but the farmers and the traders have all of their needs met. They're all happy, or not necessarily happy, not in the sense it was like this like perfect, but it's not this. It was sort of presented, at least in the movies, that there was not an exploited class in Wakanda, that people sort of had different roles, but they all were sort of, it was all a part of, it all contributed to
the nation that was Wakanda.
Yes, like it's like I'm a farmer and that's fine. I don't want to be king. I don't got to be king. I'm a farmer and I have everything I need by being a farmer.
My other issue and pushback with that is that because the only people who we really talk to are all like high class.
It's seen from the perspective of
like royalty,
the royal
and
family,
like and their guards and like, you know what I mean? So
Wakanda is made up of 5 tribes, and all 5 came together except for the Jabari that walked away when they refused to respect who the purple herb had.
Sure, but my point is like
So.
we don't know that it is a utopia, a black utopia, because we didn't talk to the farmers.
Right. So I think that again, like, yeah, I think I agree. Like, you can have trade and commerce without capitalism. And that was what maybe I thought that maybe the movie was sort of, it was told from this. Yes, it was told from the lens of the royal family, but at least the images, the presentation of farmers and people that who were not in the royal families still kind of had their needs met.
Yeah, I mean, but we
can
can
imply-
it.
we don't- I mean-
didn't see. There was no big discussion or open discussion about socioeconomics in Wakanda, right?
True, but
So,
I think
that's
that
in the MCU.
yeah, I got you on that. But I think that was, at least from those 2 movies, and obviously that was intentional for them to present it that way. But I think that was something that I've seen where it's like, okay, it doesn't look, I don't see an exploited class, but obviously that was intentional, right?
Right. But the argument can also be made that like there's a lot of places in the world that don't have this, that don't have the capitalistic system, and do have trade and commerce, and it works. And we don't, Britain only introduced it to Africa and all the other places it colonized. Same with America, XYZ. But this is always taken. I don't know why we always get here like this.
To Marvel?
No, just
Oh.
like a deeper conversation of like.
Because that's what's most important.
I guess, sure. And we start drinking. That's what it is.
It's
Once
not
we
me.
start drinking, it's not you.
I was just like, hey,
It's
I
not
thought we
you.
were talking about
It's not you.
fake
like
stuff.
you probably are the reason.
I thought we were talking about video games and
Were we?
anime.
Because you stopped doing that for a long time ago.
I can always go back.
No, it's too late. Hey, we appreciate y'all
He asked
rocking
the
with us. We're wrapped up our season. Season 5 is over. That's
Oh
it.
my god.
It's
And-
not over. Just kidding. It is.
It's
Oh,
yeah.
this boy just gonna join?
Oh, you
don't-
know him?
Yes.
Cobb got all the people here.
Yo, I'm about to curse this boy that just joined, yo.
Uh-oh.
You can do that privately.
What's his name? I'm gonna embarrass him real quick on
Okay.
live and say, yo, you really was late today.
Oh.
And I'm angry.
Oh, no.
No.
He thinks he's like the best Tekken player in the world, but not quite.
Ooh, what's his character?
He uses
If you
Armor
say-
King.
Oh, okay. If you said Eddie Gordo, I was.
He
gonna be
doesn't
like-
use Eddie
I was
Gordo,
gonna-
no.
I was gonna end the stream right then and there. I wasn't.
No,
Even
what's
gonna
wrong
say
with
our
Eddie Gordo?
goodbyes.
But anyway, he uses Armor King, and he uses Asuka. He uses all the characters that are like annoying and
So he's really good.
and like what's the boy name that like look like he like slaps people a lot.
Yep.
The
Yoshimitsu?
Spanish dude. No, he doesn't use Yoshimitsu. What's the Spanish dude's name?
Not Siegfried. What's his name?
Siegfried. All right.
Different game.
What's the boy's name he just be smacking people, yo, and he looks like he just beats up women a lot. I think he was introduced in like maybe Tekken
What?
7. Yeah. He knows his name, and he uses Kazuya. and Master Raven. He uses a bunch of characters, but he be cheating. So
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Miguel.
losing.
Okay.
but thanks for being late,
The
Am.
bull that's like.
That'd be
he
like
looks
laughing.
He looks like he's straight out of a telenovela.
Yes, and he like laughs. He has this like emote where he laughs, and like if you're like ridiculous enough to let him like laugh while he's during the emote, and you let it ride,
counters.
he smacks.
Yeah.
And it's like a one shot.
How can she slap?
He like punches you, and
How
then
can
he
she
smacks
slap,
you.
sir?
All right, I got something.
man.
No, you
There will
good?
be more.
We'll be back. We're gonna go on hiatus. This whole set and all that's gonna be different when we come back for our next season. Hey, if you have not listened to any of our previous episodes, go back and do so. We got some great content out there. We also got some smatterings of things happening throughout until we come back for our next season. We got BNRs that we'll be doing. If you don't know what BNR is, booze, news, reviews. We do those.
News, reviews,
Where we review booze and news and reviews. We do that.
What we
So,
mean?
Hey, tell more people about us. We out here. We're your favorite undiscovered podcast.
We want to be rich capitalists, y'all.
You do.
No, she don't, but I would be fine with it.
I'm at peace with.
I
wherever
would
we
share.
go.
It wouldn't just be me. You know, I would share with people so that they can sustain themselves.
Hey,
and those are I wouldn't be
One
like
out of three
Spider-Man.
ain't bad.
I wouldn't be
We are
like
out here
Batman.
trying to create jobs one day.
I wouldn't be like Batman and just keep it all to myself and just bounce when people need help, or if I'm on vacation or sabbatical.
That's good.
I would equip the community and
At least y'all know y'all can reach out to her when the rest of us are on San
abolish all superheroes, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Yep. And don't forget to defund time travel.
And that too.
I want to wrap this up.
Doctor Who is alive and well.
He is.
Is he?
Hey, if you got any questions for us beyond this live, send them to our DMs. We do respond. And we'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace out. Oh, see? Now I
Hurry
can't
up and end it before
now
I
can't
embarrass
end it.
myself. Hurry up and end it. Hurry up and end it.
No, it's not
No,
ending.
this wasn't epic at all. This wasn't epic
There
at
we go.
all.
It's